What's going on, man? What is up, football family? It is LC with Space City Football with some breaking news. La Pantera, Albert Elise, is out of here. He is gone. He is reported already in Portugal tonight at Boa Vista. Boa Vista. Honestly, it's just more than anything else, it's just a shame for the club because he is such an iconic player for us. And this is a move that it looks like Elise pushed for. This is a dream of his, was to play in Europe. So I wish him all the best. I hope he does extremely well at Boa Vista. But it does leave us lacking in a spot for winger, which we'll get to in just a second, but just a little bit more on Elise. Massive player for Houston. Just in 2012 alone, he only played a total of 6 matches, but he had 4 goals in 6 matches. Couple that with COVID and, the break and everything, all that. That is an amazing number to have right off the bat. 2019 in league, he scores 9 goals for us, 10 assists. We know he's the fastest player currently in the Houston Dynamo. He's a super pacey winger, but more than anything else, he is he's a massive personality for the team. And when you're talking about a rebrand, when you're talking about trying to up game attendance, personality on the pitch is incredibly important. It's incredibly crucial. La Pantera Negra. First of all, let's talk about this. Him being the Black Panther, for the Houston Dynamo. The thumbnail for this photo is the iconic picture of him. He scores the goal. He puts on the Black Panther mask. He does he strikes the post and everything. That moment for me as a Houston Dynamo fan, first off, as a Houston Dynamo fan, it's etched in my memory. Second, as an Afro-Latin Houston Dynamo fan, that moment speaks to me, and it speaks to a lot of people who kind of feel left out when they feel left out in the football conversation, and they feel kind of left out, I think. Let's face it, they feel left out in a lot of conversations. But for an Afro-Latin player to be such an iconic role for any club, I think is super massive. And I think at a time when of course that was right around the time when Black Panther came out, RIP to a legend, Chadwick Boseman. But right when that came out, and he was already the Black Panther for us. So when he came out and he put that mask on, for a lot of Afro-Latin fans, that moment not only included us in the Houston Dynamo, but also kind of included us in this movement that was kind of going around the nation with Black Panther. So I thought it was just a really cool moment. And there were a lot of moments like that for Elise in this team. He is going to be extremely sorely missed as a personality. His presence on the pitch is going to be extremely missed. Not sure what he's going for. Not sure what the transfer fee is there. He is going before the end of his contract, so that means that we are entitled to some kind of transfer fee, which is, it benefits the club, and it also benefits us in the transfer window because it means that we get to look for other players. Segue into Mateo Bahamic from Instituto in Argentina, 21-year-old forward player, has agreed to terms with the Houston Dynamo. It looks like he's going to go for a $1.2 million transfer fee. Obviously, on the world scale, $1.2 million sounds like not a lot, but for a club like us with a very small salary cap, and just kind of the way that we bring up players and that we don't spend a lot of money on players, it's a little interesting to see Tab Ramos kind of go in this direction. Again, not the biggest transfer fee in the world, but what are we getting for $1.2 million? Are we getting someone that can fill that role, on the wing, which was Albert Elise, obviously, we kind of brought him on as a designated player when we did, because he could double as a winger, and if you put him up top in the number 9 role, you could just let him hit top gear and let him go, and that's why he was so dynamic as an attacking player for us. So it'll be really, really interesting. I'm going to have my eyes glued to Bahamic when his transfer kind of wraps up. Once he comes into the club, we won't have him obviously for Saturday. The deal is not that done and dusted quite yet. Still some T's to dot and some I's to cross on the paperwork, but we will definitely be looking to see what he brings to the team. And there's been a couple of highlight reels from him kind of circling around the internet in different places. And what I've kind of noticed right off the bat is he is what I would call a stereotypical Argentinian player. He seems to be extremely creative on the ball. There is a bit of pace about him. Doesn't look like he's anywhere close to the speed of Elise, which, in world football, you're like, he's not a pacey player. That's not the biggest deal. In MLS football, it's a lot different because this is a game that is fast-paced. It is very physical. Pirlo talked about it. I mean, after his first game in the MLS, when he came to New York, he was like, damn, man, keeping up with these players is extremely hard. But of course, magicians like Pirlo can get into a field and they can make themselves work, in any kind of way. But I mean, him, Schweinsteiger, Zlatan, these players, they get into the MLS and they're like, damn, I didn't know that this was going to be as physical as it is. It's a super physical league. Elise is, he's tall, he's fast, he was a physical player, but he was also technically good on the ball, and he could also set up assists for us, as well as score goals. So Mateo coming in, 21 years old, he's a bit younger than Elise, which is, it's a good thing for us. Those are huge shoes to fill. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how he comes in, and kind of how he fits into the Dynamo. Before I say anything else, Space City Football does have a Twitter page now, so I'm going to throw that in the description of this video as soon as I can. I was going to try to do that before the video started, but I couldn't figure it out. Again, learning curve for me. Everything here is a learning curve. You know what I can do? I'll do this right now. Hold on. I can put it. Where is? It is at @space_football is our Twitter handle. So going to be put it right there in the live chat for you so you can see it. Twitter is a tool that, I mean, if you are in the football world, especially when it comes to transfers, Twitter is, I mean, it's everything. It's if there's disciplinary news, if there's transfer news, if there's COVID news, anything like that, it's coming out. It's coming out on Twitter, and it's like the fastest modem to get news in football. So second I get it on Twitter, second I get that notification, I'm retweeting it, I'm sharing it. So if you want to stay up to date on what's happening around the club, obviously follow the club on Twitter like we do, and then follow Space City Football, because I'll probably be throwing my take on it too. So there'll be a little bit of context there as well. So at @space_football, football obviously spelled FUTBOL because we're international around here. Which brings me into this weekend. First match at BBVA with fans in the stadium. It's going to be a crucial moment for us as a football club. Obviously it's a crucial moment for all football clubs, but first time back, getting fans into the stadium. What will it look like? There's a lot of things that they've posted on their page, on their website, on their Twitter, and then kind of a lot of things that the MLS have posted. There will be no first tier seating, only second tier, so only in the upper bowl. I think parties are limited to 6 people. And I've kind of looked at like the ticket map and the way they're doing it. It's pretty interesting. So you'll have like 6 tickets together, 6 seats, and then in that same row, there is a pretty sizable gap between you and then the next group of 6, and then it kind of goes that way through the entire section. So that'll be kind of cool to see these little pods all around, and obviously in the upper deck, lower deck, as we've watched the games on TV. There's there's other players, subs, and medical staff and team staff and all that kind of thing in the lower bowl. So we only have 2 tiers. So the first bowl will be kind of staff, players, that kind of thing. Upper bowl will be allowed fans. I think we're only allotted something like 20% capacity into the stadium. So if you want to go to the game, I'll retweet the link. I'll put the link on this page as well under this video. But get your tickets now because limited seats. But they're doing a lot of other cool things. Masks obviously are going to be required. Virtual concessions is something that I'm actually kind of looking forward to, trying to get into the stadium for the next couple of games. Basically, you can order on your phone and then go pick it up, so you don't have to wait in line. Kind of limits your time in front of the concession stands. I think that's dope. I love that. I love anything that, kind of says this is obviously our reality right now, COVID, and we're going to do our absolute best to kind of go around it. I love that the club is implementing these things. I think it's extremely important that we get some revenue back, into the club, because these moments, these COVID moments for a lot of clubs around the world, especially smaller clubs, are terrifying. They're absolutely terrifying. You lose not only ticket revenue, but you lose concession revenue. You lose apparel revenue. You lose TV revenue. There's a lot of money you're losing out of when you don't have fans in the stadium. And you name it, parking, game programs, whatever it is, you're losing out on money. And then it affects the clubs because it affects how much money we can spend on training players, on buying players, on player accommodations and things like that when we were in the bubble. This all affects it, especially for a club like us that don't like to spend a lot of money. It's nice to see that, that they're opening up the stadium, but they're doing it in such a way that I feel like I will be okay going to the stadium and going to a game. I can 100% guarantee you that if they just opened up the stadium and said, yeah, let's do it, I would not be there. And I would also encourage a lot of other people not to be there. But because that's not the case and that they are taking a lot of precautions, yeah, I think if you want to check it out, I think you absolutely should, and I think you should go and be loud and support the boys. So that brings us to Saturday. We are playing Minnesota. Gotta get my computer to load here. Come on. Slow computer, man. Probably should have had this up already. It would have made a lot more sense. Notes for the future. Somebody write that down. But yeah, anyway, last time out we played them, it was 3-0. And, we won comfortably. We lost, obviously, our last game. We were playing a stretch of 4 games in 11 days. Fatigue was obviously there. Again, I'll never let fatigue be an excuse because there's ways around it. But it is a lot. It's refreshing to know that we go into this weekend with a little bit of a break. It's been about a week since our last game. So yeah, I'm extremely, extremely excited to see how we attack this game. I expect the lineup will be pretty similar to the Dallas match. We'll always line up the exact same way. It's always going to be a 4-3-3. It's going to be it's going to be still attacking minded, still kind of possession minded. We have Lassiter on the right wing in that role for Elise. Man, as much as a good player as he is, he's not La Pantera. He's not a player that can fill that role. So it's going to be interesting to see how we kind of compensate for that, because now you're in a situation where you don't have that pace, you don't have that creativity, which is something that Elise brought to the team. We play a very, it's not a standard form of football, but it's a very straightforward form of football where it's possession and it's go forward. But when you have those players that can be creative and take players on in a 1v1 situation, take them on, get into space, get in behind, when you're lacking that, it's really crucial. It's really hard to get those crucial goals that you need in the 70th, 80th, 90th minute. So we'll see how he does on that right side. Manotas will probably start with Quintero on the left. Vera started for us last time out in the midfield. I kind of expect to see our new boy from New England. Gosh, tell me his name. Zaibo. I know I'm saying that wrong, but I kind of expect to see him in the midfield starting, just because, we spent the money. We're definitely going to want to see him out. Figueroa and Strudel will be starting in the center back roles. Not sure if there's a couple of ways we could go on the left in the left back spot. Blah, 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 blah. Christian Ramirez ended the game for us, but Adam, how do you say it? Ludensvist. I think that's right. Anyway, Adam started for us last game. He did pretty well all throughout the first half. We didn't really concede until about the 28th minute, 30th minute. We do well kind of covering those wing positions. Both goals last time out, they came from center positions. They came from lofted balls through the midfield. So those, what I'm looking for is our 4, 5, and 6 to basically close down and push those balls out wide, because we do have decent left and right backs. So, again, it's a game that we expect to win because Minnesota are a younger team. They're a less technically able team, and they have been losing a lot of games. However, their last game against Kansas City went 0-0 for the better part of 75 minutes before Kansas City scored the only goal in the game. So, it says a lot for a young club to come out and face a side like Kansas City, which is a very good team, and shut them out for, the majority of the game. It looks like it's going to end in a tie, but you find some kind of pace, you find some kind of creativity, and then you can go in and you can score. And that's what, that's what Elise brought for us. And I'm really, really, really hoping that we don't lose that going forward. So yeah, it's, I already just closed the window, and I probably shouldn't have, because I'm going to give you the information. 7 p.m. Saturday at BBVA. The tickets are on sale. If you want to go, you should go. Bring a mask. Follow us on Twitter at _football. If you haven't liked the page, like the page already. If you haven't subscribed to the page, subscribe to the page. Give me a like on the video. And again, let me know how I'm doing, because nothing happens in this chat without you guys. If it's not with you, it's just me talking to my computer, and that's weird, kind of. So let me know what you guys want to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. Throw me a score prediction for Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and say 2-0 to the Dynamo. I'm not going to say 3-0 just because Minnesota are a bit unpredictable because they are so young, and they could make us work for it, and they could score goals. So we will be watching, and we hope for all of the best. Elise, again, man, we love you. We will miss you. We wish you all the best, and we will be watching Boa Vista, and we will I mean, we just hope that you are successful in Europe because you did so much for Houston, and we love you, man. Adios, Pantera. Bye, guys. Vamos.